We would never want to put our clients' mental health above, more evidence or this or that. I mean, if they're not feeling well, then they need to leave. Yeah.
Would you generally advise the client to stick around at least for a couple weeks to try to gather evidence while you're still working, or would you tell them no? In other words, am I better off to stay and gather some evidence than to just quit on that day?
Yeah, I'm going to give you another, another annoying legal term, but it
No, no,
depends.
it depends. It depends. That's the best legal term of all. It depends. But go ahead.
Exactly,
Sorry.
exactly. So it depends on a few factors, I would say. I mean, in most cases, not most cases, but, in a lot of cases, clients will come to us and, if they are in really bad shape, emotionally speaking, like, I've had clients come to me who are, really not even able to carry out like basic hygienic tasks because of the emotional distress from like a sexual assault or sexual harassment. They are really just trying to get by, like really not feeling well. If somebody comes to me in that type of situation, I would probably advise that the best thing to do is to leave. We would never want to put our clients' mental health above, more evidence or this or that. I mean, if there's like an easy grab, like maybe something we could get easily from, like a recording or a one more text message, maybe we would discuss that. But our client's mental health comes first, and if they're not feeling well, then they need to leave. But if somebody's doing okay, they think that they're up to the task of recording a phone conversation or um, you know, emailing the supervisor to get confirmation that something happened, then that's potentially something we would help the client navigate, and that could add value to their case. So it depends, how the client is feeling, what the situation is like, what other evidence exists. But that's something we would definitely work with somebody to discuss.
Walk me through what the first few weeks look like after someone comes to you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think a lot of times, as I was saying, people come to me when they are either, one foot out the door or they've just left their job, terminated or resigned. And the first few weeks will be a lot of information gathering. So, this is typically the most kind of, and we're trying not to re traumatize some people. So, we really do work with our clients to, work within their comfort level. Like, do they need to call their therapist after they speak to us? Do they need to space out calls, talk certain times of day, communicate via email, or, we really try to work with our clients because, um, a lot of our cases, our clients are so traumatized and it's so difficult. Our goal is to not fully re-traumatize the client, but at the same time, the first few weeks we do need information. We need a timeline as to what's happened, all the names of people who might be involved, discussions of, getting text messages or emails or recordings. So, it's really an information gathering phase, and it typically is the most difficult part of the case for our clients because a lot of times they have to relive in one way or another, like what happened to them. But after this phase in the case, we always tell our clients, we're able to, once we have all the information, we can take over. Like, they don't have to relive it anymore. They don't have to talk to people at the company anymore. Like, we can fully step in once we're armed with all of the information and really take things from there. So I think it does take a weight off after, that part of the case is over. But um, it can be a difficult, time in the case for a lot of clients.